Namaste. Today's program for the youth on Sanaatana Dharma. The guest lecture is from Kishore. I will introduce him after Prarthana. Aditi will recite Prarthana now.
Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhautame Sada Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Dhanyawad, Aditi. It is actually my privilege and joy to invite and introduce to you Dr. Vaidyaratna, Dr. C.A. Kishore. He's his biodata is so full of accreditations that it will take me half an hour to go through. So I'm going to we have circulated it in the group. So I'm going to be short on this. Dr. C.A. Kishore has his degree BAMS followed by MD Ayurveda, FAGE, DND and MAMCJ. He is the president of the Akhila Bharata Sahitya Parishad, the chairman of the Publicity Committee of the Cancer Society, Karnataka. He is a GC member, Karnataka Cancer Society, life member, Karnataka Gamaka Kala Parishad, and member, Family Planning Association of India, National Integrated Medical Association, member, Kannada Abhivruddhi Pradhikara, Government of Karnataka. He is the co-founder of Ayur Organics Unlimited, CEO and founder of Shastri Swad Sannidhi, CEO and founder of Shastri Swasthya Sannidhi, organizing secretary and EC member AKBMS, national head Swasthya Samruddha Bharat. His accreditations include Eminent Citizen of India Award, Karnataka Vibhushana Award, Aryabhata Award, Mother Teresa Excellence Award, Chanakya Ratna Award, Jayaprakash Narayan State Award, Kempe Gowda Award, Bharata Vibhushana Rashtra Prashasti. In addition to being a doctor and a consultant, he is also an author and motivational speaker. Has been in talk shows over 3,000 on the TV and radio. Has written over 250 plus health related articles in the print media. Delivered over 500 guest lectures. Organized and treated patients in over 300 medical camps. Advisor to key pharma companies. Key strategist and expert in brand building activities. He has also been the doctor for many celebrities. His aim, like he's got it in his biodata, it says BAMS is a bridge between Ayurveda and modern science. He has authored Kishore Sutra, a popular book on Ayurveda home remedies, a very prolific speaker with expertise in languages Sanskritam, English, Kannada, Hindi, Telugu, and Tamil. His life philosophy, which is very interesting, is what you think, you become, what you feel, you create, and what you imagine, you create. I warmly welcome Dr. C.A. Kishore to address the students. Dhanyawad.
Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you. A warm good evening to everyone. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sarvebhyo Namaha. Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasurairvandita Pada Padmam Loke Jararuk Bhayamrutyunasham Dataramesham Vividhaushadhinam Dhanvantarim Ramanatam Sarvaroga Nivarakam Ayurveda Pravaktaram Vande Peyushadayakam Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Santu Niramayaha. It's a very glad opportunity for me to be one amongst the enthusiastic Veda Samskrutam group of elite people who are being a part of this session in the evening. It's a pride, honor, and privilege to express my thoughts and views about Ayurveda, its importance, its relevance, and the authority of the same in perspective to the preventive healthcare and also to the curative healthcare in the present day's healthcare scenario. And later on, responsible Ayurveda to be the key role in prevention and also in the management of the current ailments in the days to come for the generation next. Keeping this in perspective has been given a huge task by Dr. Prabhakar, Dr. Lilita, and things like that. I take this opportunity to make the talk very informal, very light, so that there will be a very good interaction from the moment one of the group they are free to interact, they are free to disturb me, so that we can work together towards understanding better of what the things have to be deliberated in this evening, so that more and more people will not be bored. They will be inside the discussion, in the hardcore group of the discussion, and with that, I think it's more sensible for me to penetrate the concept of Ayurveda in the common souls of India. I'm pretty sure that pan India, from east to west, north to south, elite people interested in the Veda Samskruti are a part of this elite audience today. And I have also deliberated many things about Ayurveda in the recent past, periodically through Veda Samskruti Samiti. So I'm pretty well aware that the then Ayurveda is much more relevant to the present day's healthcare scenario because of the nation being more stronger and stronger day by one by stating its point of Indology in the global perspective. This is point number one. Point number two, this is the era wherein which we have a very able leader at the center to take the native principles of Indology across the globe. It's not just Ayurveda, it's yoga as well, wherein which hundreds of countries simultaneously are planning towards the celebration of health by incorporating the yoga day into Ayurveda day, and a much more relevance is there in the present day scenario by seeing that more and more country people in the different parts of the world are coming into the fold of Indology, Indic principles, and celebrating their life with more joy and happiness, and conclusively with contentment. I use this word responsibly. There's a lot of contentment in the present days youth because they have a very definite path. They are very well convinced as to where they're going to reach. They are very well convinced as to what were the problems in the not knowing the roots in the right way in one generation, which is roughly around 50 to 60 years old. The today's 30-year-old young is pretty sure as to what was the debacles, what was the deficiency in the past, and what is the significance and relevance of Ayurveda in preventive healthcare. Point number one. Point number two, in the part of curative health, keeping these two in perspective, he is pretty sure that it's not just India. Ayurveda, once upon a time, which has been called as an alternative system of medicine, from now on, it shall be very proudly pronounced, elaboratively accepted as native system of medicine, not just alternative, because the Desi concepts of Ayurveda, which is 5,000 years ago, the then system of medicine is relevant today, not just today, but for tomorrow as well. So, keeping this in perspective, there is a verse in Sanskrit which says, Swastasya swastya rakshanam aturasya vikara prashamanam. What does it mean? If you're healthy, it shall continue to keep you healthy to the rest part of life. This is the first key of success. That is the Bija mantra of Ayurveda, what we say. Swastasya swastya rakshanam. The next important thing is Aturasya vikara prashamanam. What does it mean? By default, if you enter into the fold of diseases, what is meant by being default? See, me as a doctor, someone as a policeman, someone as a security personnel, most of you are software engineers, most of you are into the nightlives working for some other country's sunrise and some other country's sunset, sitting in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta. We cater to the other country's sunrise and sunset. We work to their schedules, keeping our health at task. This is point number one. Point number two is we are into the culture of junk foods. I'm pretty sure Saturday and Sunday, most of the kitchens are shut down and most of the people are into the streets eating the street food and fantasizing themselves that they're absolutely modernist. In the real terminology, they are pseudo modernist. Keeping this in perspective, they are into the era of lot many diseases and disorders engulfing them at a very young age. Which are the common disorders which will engulf them at a very young age, especially to the software people? The people who are between 25 and 40, who are supposed to be the crest of healthy India, who are supposed to be very responsible for generating a very healthy offspring, who are to be responsible for dying healthy, not just being healthy, who are to be responsible to earn livelihood with status and dignity and being healthy and transferring and transforming health to the offsprings of the generation next. With such a great responsibility in the golden age of 25 to 40, they end up into multiple disorders. Can I enumerate few disorders? Usually what will happen? First thing is simple typical hair fall. Second thing is acne. Third thing is gastritis. Fourth thing is stress. Fifth thing is insomnia. Sixth thing is many skin manifestations starting from eczema to psoriasis. The next thing is acid peptic disorders. The next thing is hypertension. The very next thing is diabetes. To name a few, we have already enumerated roughly around 10 to 12 disorders which a 25 to 40-year-old mid aged yet powerful and earning age individual will be engulfed into. The point to be underlined and emphasized is he will be engulfed into such many problems at a very young age, which is initially a personal problem, later on turning out to be a family problem. In the due course of life, it will be turning out to an economic problem and a social problem as well, leading to depression, leading to n number of other complications and sequels, and ending up their life uh, after retirement with lot of diseases. Uh, Adding an anecdote to this pretty example, which I would wish to share is, if the seniors over here are there more than 70 years in this group, they will watch for my words. I'm pretty sure if a person is born, there was only a notion or a kind word from the surroundings to ask about the good things of the baby and mother. The courtesy word would be, are the mother and child healthy? I'm pretty sure that the mother would also be healthy and the child would also be healthy. So for the sake of courtesy, they would have asked and the baby would grow up. If anyone dies, it was also pretty sure that the patient would be 100 plus years or 90 plus years. He would have led a complete, healthy, natural cycle of life, ending his life in a very peaceful way. Jatasya Maranam Dhruvam is the philosophy and ideology of life, what we all believe in. So, keeping that in perspective, if a person died, he would not be a patient, he would be an old aged man. And on the contrary, there were lot many days which you will all accept with my thought process as to what I say now. Uh, Grandfather would be taken to a hospital by a grandchild, and the grandchild would be in his mid ages, 25, 30, 35 years, and the grandfather would be around 90, 95 years. The grandson would not trouble his father, that is the mid-aged person of 50, 60 years, because he would be healthy. He would take his grandfather to the hospital for the sake of medical services. This was being practiced and preached and experienced in the scenario of India for a very long time. And of late, if you see, today the grandfather is healthy, fortunately, and unfortunately, the grandchild is unhealthy. Today, we have been seeing the grandfather getting the grandchild to chronic ailments starting from cancer to cardiac care. Lot of problems, perennial problems are being experienced in the younger generation, and these particular problems are cannot be attended at local level, and the corporate hospitals are booming up like mushrooms. And keeping this in perspective, the grandfather is getting a grandchild to the hospital, and he loses he sees losing the grandchild's life with a lot of misery, and desperation of life shall happen. So this is a very typical index case of mithya ahar and vihar. What is mithya ahar? What is mithya vihar? Knowingly doing an unlawful thing, doing an unwilling thing in the right way for a very long time, mithya vihar, working for some other country's duration. In the whole scenario of India, if you can take in the long history, it is very clear that when the sun would rise, we would start our daily activities. When the sun would set, we would close all our activities and go to bed. We were not at all bothered of tomorrow. We were bothered of that particular day, and we would had a very comfortable life. and the then generation would have 5 to 10 children. The only motive was to educate them, to marry the children and have a independent house for life. That was the achievement what ones would aspire for the whole part of their life tenure. Today, you have 3 houses and 30 cars and only 1 children, and you are earning enormously, especially all of us. It may be an engineer, it may be a doctor, it may be a teacher. The earning potential of an individual and the per capita income of an individual in India is much more higher than what it was before. Keeping this in perspective, we are pretty sure that we will not starve for next 10 years even if we don't work for next 10 years. But still keeping this in mind, we work for tomorrow at the cost of today, and we end up into problems, and n number of problems are being engulfed in the day-to-day scenario, and there is a lot of loss of life, and all the more important, what is to be discussed is there's a lot of quality of life. Quality of life is much more important. Today, we are in the era of Modi diabetes. It's not Narendra Modi. It is maturity onset of diabetes in young. Modi diabetes has rampantly been increasing. Young child is entering the fold of diabetes. The young child has stress. The young adult at 15, 20 years and the housewife, so called to be peaceful and pleasant and presentable and being happy at all times of life, is becoming a real wife. That is very invited forever. That is the new definition of wife, what we can see of late. And all men are unhappy with the spouses because of the stress they create in the families. Vice versa has been happening. Keeping all such into consideration, I think stress is one of the major thing alarmingly which has been increased, and that has to be targeted too. That has not to be reduced, but that is to be fully stopped at any given point of time to any individuals, because Jatasya Maranam Dhruvam is what we say. What does it mean? Jatasya Maranam Dhruvam. Any particular individual who is having a life on this earth might have to, for sure, close his life. But the point of discussion here is the closure of life should be at the time and pace the creator decides, not to be decided by us. Second thing is, what is mukti? Mukti is not just dying and aspiring not to be born. Mukti, according to me, I beg to differ. Mukti, according to me, is being born in the same country with a lot of pride and prestige, owing your success to the motherland. Mukti is having a rebirth to the same parents, trying to serve them much more better than what you have served them in the previous life. Mukti is to have the birth in the same womb, same land, and to serve to the nation to the best possible capacity that what you could not do in the previous Janma had to be sufficed in this particular Janma, and to be more kind, more associated, and be all the more healthy. What did Krishna say at the end of the day? Sharira Madhyam hi Kalu Dharma Sadhanam is what been is Krishna's preachings to the whole community. I pretty well know that Sanaatana Dharma students, Veda Samskruti students are pretty well aware about the dharmic perspectives of social growth. Dharmic perspectives of social growth. When this is the intention and inclination of life, what did he mean by saying so? Sharira Madhyam hi Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. If the body of the car is not at all equipped to the present day scenario, what will you do having a beautiful engine which has no body? When God has given you so much of IQ, so much of intelligence, so much of knowledge, profound knowledge, and you have acquired with your hard work, with so much of efforts for so many years of your young tenure as students, and heavy working potentials in different arenas of life, when you don't have a good body to experience health, then absolutely that particular knowledge shall go to drains. For which Krishna said, Sharira Madhyam hi Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. For whatever the sadhana that you have to do in life, what is all the more important is a medium. Vice versa, you should have a very good physical body, that is Sattva, Atma, Sharira, and Manas. All these 4 things are something like 4 different tires which are equally inclined, with equal air pressure, with equal distance, having the same direction towards success, moving with the same acceleration and speed with a safe driver, that is Manas. When all the Sattva, Atma, Sharir, and Manas are simultaneously synchronized and equipped with high potential driving force from within the success, with a promise and presence of Guru in the front and Guri, that is the objective at the behind the success. Of course, it may be altered as well. The objective should be in the front and the guiding force at the back. Either of the way, depending on the situation, if you can target the success in that particular way, the objectives of health. Again, what is health? Samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriyaha. Prasanna Atma Indriya Manaha Swastya Ityavidiyate. What a beautiful saying the 5,000 years old Ayurveda has taught us. Sama dosha. What does this mean? Vata, Pitta, Kapha doshas, what we say, it has to be in Samyata. Parantu, Arthat, in equilibrium. Sama dosha. Sama Agni. All the Pancha Dhatvagnis, Sapta Dhatvagnis, and Pancha Bhutagnis are to be in normalcy. Sapta Dhatus. Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Medha, Asti, Majja, Shukra. Sapta dhatus to be in equilibrium to all people at any given point of time. Trimalas, Sweda, Mutra, Purisha. Tridoshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Everything in a synchronized way, put in a nutshell, has to be in equilibrium. This is the basic cause of Sat Chit Atma. Sat Chit Atma is a very tranquilized soul, being from within, to have a very blissful experience of Ojas. What is Ojas? Shukrantu Tejodatanam Param Sputim Shukrantu Param Sputim. The end point of Shukra Dhatu, which has been refined, and the nectar of the Shukra Dhatu is called as Ojas. This Ojas converted into Tejas in the days to come, wherein which we have seen, for example, in the beautiful face of Swami Vivekananda ji. The moment you see his face, you might not have known him personally, you might not be alive during the course of Vivekananda's tenure, but once you have seen the face of glorified face of Vivekananda on a photograph, I am pretty sure once you see him, 100 years afterwards, you see the same photograph, you can recognize that particular photograph connecting to Swami Vivekananda. The same thing happens to many great souls who are immortal. This happens only when they are very good givers and not takers. This is an era. I am very sure you will watch for my words and you will acknowledge with me, endorse my words by saying that health is predefined, self-defined, and I want you to be selfish, because the more selfish you are in the perspective of health, you are happy, you are healthy. Relatively, subjectively, and objectively, your family is happy and healthy. Once you and your family is happy and healthy, your surroundings is happy and healthy. Relatively, your community, your area, and related country is also safe, healthy, blissful, glorified, and this contributes to every nook and corner perspective of social, economic, and generalized growth of oneself and to the nation. Keeping this in perspective, I will open the session for question and answers, so that any inputs, valid inputs and criticisms which is there, it is all the more welcome for you to criticize me and give me your valuable input, so that I can correct myself in the days to come. Point number one. Point number two is any questions pertaining to the prologue, what I have told. I'll try to explain those questions, and leading further to your questions, we can proceed in depth. We can invade with new concepts of discussion, what the social and the general interest of the community is lying within today in the Zoom's meet. And then we can try to conclude with the consolidated opinion of yours and that of mine. I would request the host to call the meet upon the meet for question and answers, so that we will have a very healthy discussions from now on for next 10 or 15 minutes. Madam Saugandhika, am I audible to you?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Yeah.
Anybody has any questions, please ask. Very nice lecture, Mahodaya. Actually, the best part was you told a healthy individual, the health is self-defined and it leads to the healthy nation, which is a very, very nice
See,
thing.
this is the very perspective. I just wanted to talk about the concept of upavasa, because the Sanaatana Dharma proves the concept of starving on a periodical basis. It may be for a Shivratri in one community, it may be for a Sankashtahara Chaturthi in a different community, it may be Ekadasi for a different community. Why all these things? I just wanted to throw light on this the moment the question comes. Now that there is scope for me to answer and the questions have not yet popped up, I take this opportunity for 2 or 3 minutes to raise about these points. And meanwhile, you can please open the session for questions and they can ask the questions if at all, if any is there. The concept of upavasa means upavasati iti upavasaha. So the closer the soul is to the body is much more enriched with multiple facets of success. That's the reason why every
Mahodaya, we lost your voice. Mahodaya, you'll have to unmute yourself. It's got muted.
Kishore ji, are you there?
I asked for unmute also, sir.
Kishore ji, are you there?
Sir?
Hari Om.
Sir, connection is there, sir. Only speaker
he's-
is...
On mute.
Yes. And now it is on, ma'am. Slowly it is coming.
Kishorji,
Hari
we couldn't hear you.
Hari Om.
Yes, sir.
Kishore ji, are you there? Saugandhi ji, could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Guruji, we can hear you, but Kishorji, we can't hear him.
Sir?
It is unmuted now, but still we can't hear.
Again, it is muted, ma'am.
Oh,
Maybe sir is joining.
it is unmuted, ji. But yeah,
Hello?
Yes,
now
sir.
we can hear
Kishore
you.
ji.
We lost you for the last
Kishore
few
ji,
minutes.
I just want to put forward one thing. This is a course for the students who are
Okay.
registered about 100 people are registered, but because of the exams and other things, they didn't come to the class.
Okay, that's not a problem. Anytime you can pass on my number
That's why
to
we
them.
thought of recording it and keeping in YouTube so that they will
Sure.
read it and
Sure.
raise
It's a
the questions
privilege.
whenever they
Yeah. It's a huge privilege to me. You have all the
Yes, sir.
liberty to record the same and transmit it to the students to their need.
Yeah, that's how we are arranging this program.
Sure.
Last few days.
Sure.
So please bear with me. There may not be questions as on date now.
Absolutely
So
not an issue.
if you want to put forward some more points, we'll go ahead. Otherwise, we'll close the session.
Yes, sir. We can close the session, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Saugandhi ji.
Yes.
My special. Let me have a last word. My special
please.
thanks to the whole Sanaatana Dharma course, Veda Samskruti Samiti, Dr. Prabhakar ji, and our respected Madam Lilita Madam, who coordinated for all the success of this program. For the last many days, she is behind me to make me closer to the community. I am deeply indebted with a lot of gratitude, love, and affection to the community, and I'll assure you and promise you to the best of whatever I can in the days to come as well for the restoration and propagation of Indian Sanaatana Dharma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. You're giving a good lecture in a brief way, talking about bringing about the important points of the basics of Ayurveda. And we hope we will have more detailed lectures in future under webinars. Please give us some time to give us some webinars from your side also in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Saugandhi, please take over.
Aditi,
Yes.
Prarthana.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद गुरुजी
Dhanyavad, Aditi. Dhanyavad, Kishore Mahodaya. It's such a beautiful lecture. I'm sure when the students hear, they'll be really indebted to you. And the mention about the nation first also was a very great thing. Dhanyavad and Hari Om. We will close recording for now.
Janagana
Or once again, yeah, national anthem.
National anthem. जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद
Jai Hind. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.
जय श्री राम
Jai Shri Ram. Dhanyavad, Mahodaya.
धन्यवाद
Dhanyavad.
I'll stop the
Sorry.
recording, sir.
Close the recording.